Do you have trouble trusting in the process when it comes to your manifestations? Like doing techniques like visualization, SATs, robotic affirmations, staying in the wish fulfilled? Because it takes work. Actually, it takes a lot of work and practice to get to a place where you're comfortable doing these things. And if you're doubting the efficacy of these techniques, guess what? You're not gonna do them. And it is gonna make your manifestation so much harder. So if this is how you feel, in this video, I'm gonna discuss two concepts with you guys that will make the whole process of manifestation and reprogramming your subconscious mind make so much more sense and give so much clarity around techniques that we use to reach our manifestation goals. And what I need you guys to understand is these are very fundamental concepts. So when it comes to manifesting, which is essentially all of life, we really need to get our fundamentals right. It's always about going back to the basics because techniques follow from basics. So the first concept that I want to talk to you guys about is this notion of I am, which is something that has come over and over, first in all religious traditions and spiritual traditions, and then in a lot of manifestation literature. For example, Neville Goddard. Now I'm getting tongue twisted over his name. Neville Goddard. So in Power of Awareness, Neville Goddard talks extensively about the concept of I am. So what is it? I am is essentially pure awareness. It's this watcher, this silent watcher that sits behind your thoughts and emotions. And this is something that you guys can gain access to very easily if you do a little meditative practice where you try to pay attention to your thoughts and emotions. What you're gonna see is the thoughts, emotions, and feelings, they're arising all by themselves without you having to do anything about them. And there is this noticing that's going on. There's this witness behind. It is this pure consciousness that is referred to as I am. And one very interesting thing about I am is it's essentially the same for all of us. And it is non-divisional, as Goddard says in Power of Awareness. Now, why is it so important to understand this notion? It's because this awareness or this witness consciousness, it has got nothing to do with your material performance, with what you acquire in this world, or what you have manifested so far. So in that sense, we are these free beings, this pure awareness, whose worth is not determined by our material manifestations. And what that does is it takes away from the judgment in the whole manifestation process, because from judgment comes impatience, comes comparison. So let's say you want something in your life. Let's say you want a partner. You are in your 30s now and most of your friends have a partner or they're moving towards having a family and you don't have one and you feel very bad about that. It's worth asking what's happening there. So if we pay attention to that process, what we're gonna see is we have a storyline, a narrative, which we probably have acquired from society, and we're running this storyline, which is generating a set of negative emotions, and then we feel this state of lack and self-pity, and just generally don't feel good. And then we identify with these thoughts and emotions, and we start assessing our sense of self-worth based off of our manifestations. On the surface, it might seem helpful, but actually it's not. It just gets in the way of the process of us getting what we want. So in this example of wanting a partner, we get more desperate and more needy when we do meet someone that we would like to be with, and that drives them away. And that's just one example. Similar reasonings can be made about other manifestations as well. For example, if you are training to have your dream body, but progress isn't fast enough, so out of that comes impatience. And what does impatience do? It makes you try a little too hard, and in the process you might injure yourself, and you might get frustrated, and that frustration might lead to giving up. So generally, these mental narratives are unhelpful. But if we recognize that we're essentially pure awareness that are free to choose the narratives, now we're in control, because we can write a story and we can adopt the story and we can choose a story that empowers us to move towards our manifestation and not away from it. Which brings me to the next concept that I want to talk to you guys about, which is this idea of state. This blew my mind when I understood this. See, the whole process of manifestation, it's not really about reaching the goal. Because whatever material thing we're looking for, that is not actually what we want. What we want is to feel a feeling that we think the material manifestation is gonna bring us. For example, if it's a certain amount of money that you're looking for, the reason you want it is probably because it's gonna bring you a sense of security. Someone wants to get promoted at work. That could be a token of self-confidence for them. Being with a loving partner brings a sense of warmth and being supported, which leads to strength. See, in all these cases, what we're essentially looking for is the feeling behind our manifestation. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So experiencing this feeling or being in this feeling is what essentially a state is. For example, someone who has a partner, a loving partner, probably experiences a sense of warmth and being connected. So there is this experience of being connected, or this state of connectedness. So now, on top of this pure awareness, this witness consciousness, there is this feeling of being connected. There's this feeling of being supported. So the whole idea can essentially be generalized as anything that is followed by I am is a state. And we assume states, we choose states. Someone who's very good at manifestation is probably embodying a certain set of qualities with great consistency in their lives. It could be this state of focus, this state of calm and relaxation, this state of faith, this state of courage, focusing on abundance and instead of lack. And the whole idea behind manifestation is that you tap into the state, and as per Neville Goddard, you stay in the feeling of wish fulfilled. And since you are already in this state, action becomes effortless, because being in this state gets rid of the mental debris like doubts, hesitation, fear, focusing on what doesn't work, what's wrong with the environment around us, and what is holding us back. And once all of that falls away, there is a lot of energy available. So to sum it up, there is pure awareness, which is I am, and there is state on top. Now, what about techniques? Techniques like visualization, affirmation, SATs. What about those? So we use the techniques to achieve a particular state. So let's say in the morning, when you wake up, you feel kind of anxious. Where is this anxiety coming from? So if you pay attention to that process, what you're probably gonna see is you're running a set of thoughts that's leading to that sense of anxiety. So now we want to go from a state of anxiety to a state of courage. How do we do that? We could do something like breath work to reset our nervous system. We can let go doing affirmations. Like a favorite one of mine is I surrender to the higher power within me, and then you just let go of all the negative thoughts. And then you affirm that you're courageous. You tell yourself that I am courageous. And you bring in feeling to it. And that creates this state of courage and confidence in ourselves that makes us want to go. It turns us on. So techniques are essentially to move between states. And the more you do the techniques, the more effortlessly you navigate between these states. But see, the mind-blowing piece in all of this is we are choosing what states we are gonna embody. And that is where our power lies. And when I realized that, I found it so profound. There is this quote, I think from the Bible, which Neville talks about in Power of Awareness, that says, let the weak man be strong. So wherever you are now, you can choose to be strong. You can choose to be courageous. And don't get me wrong, that strength and that form of courage might look different for you than for someone who is at a much further stage in their journey, and that's absolutely okay. We don't want to get trapped in this game of comparison, which is another mental trap that gets us stuck. So those are the two concepts that I wanted to talk to you guys about in this video. I come from a background and a family where there was a lot of negativity and victimhood, and for the longest time I didn't realize how much power we hold within ourselves. And the core idea behind all of that is this notion of I am and us choosing our states. When we are not familiar with this fundamental, we might think that our states are being chosen for us. But the choice is still happening unconsciously. So this was a very groundbreaking understanding for me, and it's an entirely new paradigm of existence. So if this is a concept that's novel to you, I would suggest sit on the idea, meditate on it, read Neville's Power of Awareness, and let the words and the quote sit with you, because he truly was a master of psychology. And then we can get into all the good stuff like affirmations, visualizations, staying in the state of the wish fulfilled, reprogramming our subconscious mind so that we can effortlessly tap into the state that is gonna move us toward our manifestations. And if you need help navigating any of that, it would be my honor to help and support you in that journey. I offer a complimentary one-on-one session where we would go over your manifestation goals and design a plan that's tailored to your needs. So if you're interested in that, make sure to check out the link in the description. So that's it for today. I'll see you in the next video.